Hey, it's Emily and welcome back to a brand new reading vlog. So this one's going to be slightly different. It's going to be following a certain theme, and that is because throughout May, Becca from the Becca Fowl is hosting the May the TBR Be With You readathon, which is obviously a Star Wars theme, because this weekend it's May the 4th. And as I didn't do the TBR game for the whole month, I decided to do a reading vlog especially dedicated to this readathon, and over the bank holiday weekend I'll be reading books determined by Becca's TBR game. Now if I can combine the prompts I get from this game with my current TBR, then I'll absolutely do that. But I'm intrigued to see how this game goes. Now, as it's only going to be over 4 days over the bank holiday weekend, I'm going to start today, Friday, and obviously go till Monday. I will only be trying to get to 3 planets because I think I can read 3 books over the weekend. I do have some plans tomorrow, which is Saturday. However, nothing really tonight or Sunday or even Monday, so plenty of reading time. I have just spent a long time looking for die, but I can't seem to find any. So I'm going to be using my phone to roll some die, and I've got the map on my laptop down here, so I'll move my mouse along. I will link Becca's readathon announcement down below for all the rules and all that. But yeah, I think without further ado, let's jump on in and see what books we'll be reading and what prompts I will choose for this reading vlog. So my phone is literally about to die, so I've got it plugged in, so the reach isn't very good. But we're going to start with our D10 to find out which planets we're going to be going to. But firstly, let's find out where we're starting. Number 3, which is Mandalore. I need to write this down, otherwise I will forget. May the TBR. Prompts. Right. Start. Mandalore. First planet where we'll be travelling to. 7, which is Naboo. Next up, we are going to 7. We can't stay there, sadly. 4, which is Lothal. That's going to be challenging. And then finally we're going to end up with 6, which is, why can I not see it? Mustafar. Okay, I think it's not too challenging. I am going to try and do it in 10 rolls. If I don't do it in 10 rolls, my last pick will be a random pick out my TBR jar. So yeah, I think without further ado, let's jump on into the first roll. So we have 2 D6s now. I don't think I can screen record on this laptop, so you might have to take my word for it. Let's go. So we're starting, where are we even starting? I can't remember now. Mandalore, number 3, okay. 7, oh, there you go. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Roll number 2. 7 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I promise I'm just moving the mouse along the path. There we go, roll number 3. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've made it to Naboo. So as I said earlier, I am going to try and have a crossover with my actual TBR for the month as much as possible for this reading vlog. And so for Naboo, the prompt I'm going for is a book by a female author. And for that I'm picking When the World Was Ours by Liz Kessler, who is a female author. This is a Holocaust retelling, I believe. It's a YA, but it should still be really hard hitting and emotional. I met Liz Kessler for the ABAs a couple of years ago, and she's really, really lovely. I grew up reading her Emily Winsnap book, so I was a bit starstruck when I met her. I believe though this story is really heavily influenced by her, I think I want to say grandfather. There's definitely a connection to her family and their history and their story. I am really looking forward to reading this. So yeah, that's our first book for Naboo, a book written by a female author. Perfect. So I've got 3 left on here. So where are we off to? Lothal. Bloody miles away. Right. 1, 2, 3. Roll number 4. I'm gonna do some doubles. Okay. We made it to Lothal. That was, wow. Okay, we've made it. So next up we went to Lothal, and there are about 3 prompts for this planet that I could fit this book to. It's a YA book, it has a strong female character, and also it has art in. Well, I'm counting it as art. It has a nice map at the front, and that is The Night in Question by Kathleen Glasgow and Liz Lawson, which is the second book in the Agathas. I want to say duology, I think it's just a duology, but yeah, it's the second book. and it's a YA mystery with these two female friends, and they solve mysteries together. Well, they did in the first one. They solved the town's like biggest mystery, and they're back at it again in the night in question. So there we go, an Agatha's mystery. Book number 2 for this vlog. It's a chunkier one, but yeah, I'm still excited for it nonetheless. So that means that we now do have 6 rolls to get to Mustafa, which is literally the other side of the galaxy. But roll number 5. Are you actually kidding? No. If you didn't know the rules of Becca's game, as you could probably guess, if you get a double, you hyperspace it, you jump straight there, light speed. That was okay. So I'm lost for words. And then finally for Mustafa, I chose the prompt, which is to read a spicy book, and for that I'll be reading Virgin Territory. I don't know if you can even see that there, but it's the 3rd and final book in the Hellions trilogy by Leah Riley. They are very short, spicy, hooky romances, and they've been okay. Very easy reads and very quick reads, so that's why I've chosen it for this bank holiday weekend vlog, just to balance out the slightly chunkier mystery. I believe this is a grumpy sunshine romance following a goalie for the hockey team, and I believe he's a virgin, so yeah, that's pretty much it. But it'll be nice to wrap up another series, so hopefully we can be up to date / finish 2 series in this vlog. So yeah, I think without further ado, the first book I am going to start with is When the World Was Ours, and yeah, I'll come back to you when I have some thoughts and give you an update on what I'm thinking. Hey, so it is the next day and I have made quite a dent into When the World Was Ours by Liz Kessler. I am over halfway now. I'm up to page 177 and there's about, I think, 299 pages, so yeah, basically nearly 2/3 of the way through. It is definitely like a hard read. Even when I said it was a YA, like it is quite a young YA. The characters are between the age of like 9 and 12 at the minute. A lot of the first part of the book was kind of building up the friendship and getting to know the 3 kids, Max, Leo and Elsa, and as they kind of go on their separate ways, as the kind of war breaks out and the rules are set in place for the Jews, and yeah, it's just really, it's kind of like hard to read, but it's done really well for a younger audience, I think, in my opinion. But yes, I have a feeling I may even cry at this, I don't know. But especially knowing that so much of this is based off Liz Kessler's like personal history and her family and like their story, I'm just like, I feel like that makes it more emotional for me. But yeah, I'm gonna keep going. I hope to finish this tomorrow, maybe tomorrow morning. I don't really have much else to say. It's just, yeah, it is moving and it is hard, but I do recommend it. Obviously the stuff that happens in this is awful, like awful, but I think it's done really well, and I think especially because it is Liz Kessler's like family story, it is a really poignant read. And yeah, but yeah, it's definitely a younger audience than I expected. It is written as though it is for like that 9 to 12 kind of age range as opposed to like teenagers, which is what I thought it was. I thought it was going to be for like older, like more young adult than teen. But no, I think it's really, really good so far. So I'm expecting a high rating from this, and yeah, I'll give you an update tomorrow, hopefully, when I finish this. Okay, so just wow, this is definitely 5 stars. I have just finished When the World Was Ours by Liz Kessler, and it was very hard not to cry, especially towards the end. It's so heartbreaking. Obviously this is written for a younger audience, so it was written really well, but it was still on page, it was still so moving, everything that these children go through and their families go through, and seeing everything around them change and the people they know change, every part of their life being broken down. It was just very moving and poignant and just, yeah, I don't know, really heartbreaking. I really liked the way it was written across the 3 point of views. You had a little Jewish boy and his family and his story about escaping Austria and coming to England. You had a little Jewish girl and her experience in concentration camps, and then a German boy who was drafted into the Hitler Youth, and his dad is quite high up in Germany and quite senior, so there's an expectation there as well. So yeah, I think it was really done well how it explored all those different avenues and how they started as best friends and drifted apart because of all the new rules that are brought in, and just, yeah, their horrible lives that followed But yes, I do recommend it, and I think it's not as graphic as some other books I've read from that time period, purely because it is written for, I think, a young teen. However, it's still a really impactful read and really poignant, and just, yeah, would definitely recommend it. But just, yeah, be careful going into it. Obviously, everything is on page and you see it through their eyes. So, yeah. But there we go. I'm now just about to start Virgin Territory, which I'm very excited for. Very, very different vibe, but I just think I need a little bit of a pick-me-up at the minute. I just need an easy, quick read, just as a distraction from everything. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I've got Becca's sprints on because it is May the 4th today, so happy Star Wars Day. And on to book number 2, and hopefully I wanted to read this all today, but I don't know if that will happen, as it is like 3 o'clock now already, but I think it's only about 170 pages, so it is doable. But I'll keep you posted and I'll let you know when I've made a dent into it and have any thoughts to say. So yeah, but I guess that's a strong start to this reading vlog, 5 stars. I have a feeling this might be like a 2 or 2.5, but like, we'll find out. Hello, so this is a classic example of Emily forgets to update the vlog. So last time I left off, I had finished When the World Was Ours, and I was about to start Virgin Territory. I did in fact finish Virgin Territory last night. It's a couple of days later, so this vlog has gone on beyond the bank holiday. It's now Wednesday that I'm talking, but I finished this last night. I read most of it last night. I kind of had a mini, wasn't really feeling reading. I was gonna say reading slump, but I just wasn't feeling reading the rest of Sunday or Monday. But I read most of Virgin Territory last night. Gave it 2.5. I'm glad I wrapped up the trilogy. It was fine. It wasn't that good. It was nice to know the characters, and it was just very insta-lovey, like very insta-lovey. I don't know if I even explained what it's about. I think I did. But Patch is a virgin. He's the goalie for the Denver or Colorado Hellions, whatever they're called. I can't even remember the main character's name. Oh my gosh, Margot. He meets Margot. So Patch has anger issues. Margot's a yoga teacher. The head coach is like, they can help each other. She can help him calm down through yoga. However, they kind of stick to bedroom yoga, if you catch my drift. And he loses his virginity, and they literally fall in love straight away. Like, there was no hesitation, no third act conflict at all, really. It was ridiculous. The whole like drama that happened at like the 80% mark was so ridiculous, in my opinion, and the way it like resolved itself was also ridiculous. There were aspects, though, especially when we were in like Patch's point of view, that I did enjoy, which is why it's not lower than a 2.5. But overall, it was just kind of a weird experience. He seemed to know what he was doing instantly as well. Like, he seemed to be like a full expert, even though he'd never kissed someone before. But maybe things come naturally, maybe. But yes, 2.5. Wrapped up a trilogy, so that's another series I finished. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't take anything off my TBR. However, last night, after finishing that, I started another book. No prizes for guessing what it is, because it's the third and final book that I mentioned at the start, and that is The Night in Question. I am currently now on page 66, so I've made some solid progress. I kind of want to finish this all today, but it is like a 400-page book, so I don't know if that's going to happen. But I'm already just wanting to read it. Like, all I want to do is sit and read this. It's a YA mystery. It's a sequel to The Agathas, and I kind of had forgotten about the plot of The Agathas, I'm not going to lie, but they're doing a real good job at kind of recapping but not recapping, if that makes sense. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. At one point they were like, oh, I haven't seen this person since this happened, which was in the last book, if that makes sense. So for example, I'll change the names and everything so there's no spoilers, but I haven't seen Bob since he got out of prison because he was falsely accused of murder. That's a really bad example, but that's how I'm piecing together the points from the last book, like the plot and how it's tied into this one. But yeah, really enjoying it and just want to keep going. What's happened so far is it's kind of like an end of year dance at the local castle in the town, and two girls, Park and Kennedy, they are arguing at the dance because they wore the same dress, I think. There's something about the dress. I think they're wearing the same dress. They have quite a loud argument, and one of them ends up saying like, I wish you'd just drop down dead or something like that. Alice then goes off snooping around this castle just for her own curiosity, trying to find like secret passages that she's heard rumours about. She finds one, goes through it, and the room at the other end, she sees Park standing over Kennedy's body as Kennedy's bleeding out and Park is holding a blood-stained letter opener, and the mystery goes from there. So yes, there happens to be a storm. The students are currently all stuck at the castle at this dance, so nobody's getting out yet. But I just want to keep going, and I'm really in the YA mystery mood at the minute, I must say. After reading the reappearance of Rachel Price recently, like last week, now reading this, I am just loving it. So I'm going to keep reading this on my lunch break now, so I'll give you an update probably after work, see how much I can get read this afternoon, or well, on my lunch. And yeah, I also love that every other chapter, so every chapter that's from Alice's point of view, because it follows Alice and Iris, like the first book. At the start of every Alice chapter, there's a Agatha Christie quote, and do I need to say anything about Agatha Christie? But yeah, I'll catch up with you in a bit. So here I am a few hours later. Sorry for the lighting. Does that even help? What about the big light? Is that better? But a few hours later, well, I say a few hours later, it's like 5:30. I finished The Night in Question by Kathleen Glasgow and Liz Lawson. This might not be a duology. It does say at the back, in their little acknowledgements, they have a little chat, and it does say save it for book 3, Liz. So there could be more, but I can't see any other sign of a third book. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think I'm going to give it 4. I don't know, I'm toying between a 4 and a 4.5 because I did actually really enjoy the mystery. I liked that it wasn't like a classic murder mystery. I didn't guess it, so I guess that's something positive. Well, I guess that's a good thing because it seemed reasonable, but also like, I don't know how to describe it. There was like kind of 2 mysteries tied in together. So we had the kind of present day mystery where Park is found stood over Kennedy's body holding a bloody letter opener, and Kennedy has like head trauma and is in a medically induced coma in hospital. However, we then have the links that tie to a mystery in 1949 at that castle where Kennedy is found like bleeding out. There are connections between the night of the school dance, that incident, but also that mystery back in 1949 with the people who owned the castle. And so yeah, it was definitely very interesting. I liked how they all connected, and yeah, figuring it out with Alice and Iris. I love the Agatha Christie quotes. At one point, I think I put a little clip in, Alice gets very defensive of Agatha Christie. So yeah, it kind of left on a cliffhanger in a way. Like it wasn't fully resolved, which is why I also think there could be a book 3 coming at some point, but I don't know. When did this one even come out? Well, this one came out in 2023, so it has been like 2 years. But I'll keep my eyes open, I guess. But yeah, I had a good time reading this, and I read nearly all of it today. So it kind of felt really high paced in that sense, I think, because I read it in, well, I was gonna say one sitting, it wasn't necessarily one sitting, but across one day. It felt like it was kind of full of action. If I read it across a few days or a week or a month or however long, maybe it wouldn't have felt so high paced, but I actually really enjoyed that aspect. I'm glad I read it in one day because it just felt like it was like action and figuring things out. So I was gonna say so quickly, it wasn't like super quickly. But yeah, I did have a fun time with it, and I guess that kind of wraps up this reading vlog for now. Well, I say for now, it does. So the books that I read in this vlog: When the World Was Ours by Liz Kessler, Virgin Territory, which I read on my Kindle, and The Night in Question by Kathleen Glasgow and Liz Lawson. 3 very different books, historical, mystery, smut. But I guess that kind of sums up my reading taste, I guess. It's quite varied. But I had a fun time doing this vlog, and it's all thanks to Becca and her TBR game. So yeah, thanks to Becca for organising this readathon this month. And even though I only participated for one vlog, I had a great time playing the game and yeah, reading some different books. So yeah, that's it really. Please give it a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you're new around here, because I really do appreciate each and every one of you. And with that, I will hope to see you soon with a brand new video. Bye.